Hey. Welcome in to this week's episode of the Scrap Sheet. I'm your host Jimmy. With me is my main man Zip Zap. Zip, how you doing, man?
Yo, I'm doing great, man. What a weekend of fights, man. I'm feeling good. We doing good, and I hope everything is well with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. After some minor technical difficulties, I am back and I am here. And my phone shit itself just like the MVP card shit itself, man. I don't know what was going on there, man.
Jimmy, stop it, man. There was some exciting things that happened, man. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, the rumor is the Nate Diaz fight got called early because of that same thing. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Did you
I
see
just,
that?
if I can just say one thing, maybe it's just me, but somebody predicted this outcome a week ago.
Yeah, yeah. Nate Diaz is a heavy. I mean, we've seen Nate Diaz in worse spots, you know. But I mean, what's the
You know what?
MVP card to you?
We'll get to it on the card. We'll get to it on the card.
Yeah, let's lead off with it. Let's lead off with it. We'll leave the real fights, the entertaining fights for the back half of the show. I want to see. I want to ask you these
You want to
questions
keep
because
you want to keep them in order because
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like it all builds up to a crescendo.
for sure. Because did anything actually surprise you? Because from the results, Vegas had it spot on. Nothing, no underdogs won. Nothing crazy happened. Like there were some cool knockouts. Rebellis to Spain like sent JDS to I don't even know where the moon. Frick Ngannou had his KO, but that was like everyone was like, oh well, it should have been earlier, should have been later. Like I don't know. And then like
They
the Rousey
they
fight. So
were
where do you want to start with this?
started the first fight on the main card because you're right. There was no surprises. If anything, it was just interesting how things kind of resulted, but there were really no surprises in the winners.
I hear you. I hear you. I mean, that's what I expected, though, to be honest. Because I mean, it's this lopsided of fighting odds, and these like the average fighter on this MVP card was 35 years old. Like you're just getting washed up UFC guy. Now there was a couple guys that I had interest. There was like a couple clips I saw that were interesting, like that Jackson guy. He's nasty, and of course the KSW champ is also nasty. But I think Jackson is a little. He's 37, man. I don't think he's making a UFC jump anytime soon. And then Sunalade,
Well, he
I
was he the lead off fight for the main card?
yeah, he was the. I think he's the Jamaican dude. He was the. I think he was on the prelims. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
yeah, I'm thinking of the. I want to say I think he might have been Cuban, the guy that I'm thinking
Mm.
of.
I mean, they had a Naziel, the Naziel guy who was pretty good. They want to MVP does have a guy with him if UFC doesn't take him up. But like, where do they go from here, man? Like they've won these fights. There's no belts. There's no nothing. Like I get it.
Let's talk about the fights in order, and I think we'll cover that because I
Well,
do have an answer. I do have an answer for you.
I mean, do you just want to go with the top three? Because I don't know. I
Nah,
told you.
start with what was the first fight on the main card?
I don't know off the top of my head, man. I didn't. I know
Oh,
the. I
okay.
told. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know the
I thought
UFC.
you had
No,
him.
I got.
Admittedly, I thought you had him in front of you. I
No,
thought
no.
for sure that you had
I know the UFC card off the top of my head. I don't know the MVP card off the top of my head, man. I'm gonna keep it a beat. But I mean
All
that.
right. Well, just talking about there was they're going to be slightly out of order, but there was I want to say it was a Cuban dude, a heavyweight who was who was he might have either been the beginning of the main card or he might have been the end of the preliminaries, but they were talking about him potentially being Ngannou's next fight. And this guy's good. Um,
that would be Rebellis
he,
to Spain. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Very strong puncher. I don't like his stance at all. I don't like fighters who fight with their hands down, even if they're heavy handed like he is. Only guys who do that are guys who have special speed. He does not have special speed, but he is extremely heavy handed, and he showed it. He completely flattened Junior Dos Santos
Hmm.
and sent him into the nether realm.
Yeah, I did see that. I saw that. I was like, I was mad. I'm not gonna lie to you, that was bad.
Yeah,
But
he
it was
caught
to
him with
be
an
expected,
uppercut.
though.
Caught him with an uppercut coming in. Unfortunately, JDS is at that point in his career where he's taken some. He's been involved in wars. He's taken some vicious knockouts. It just doesn't look good for him if he keeps on fighting. You don't like to see a legend, you know,
Yeah,
at that point in their career where they're just taking punishment. Um, it just wasn't a good look. Just wasn't a good look. But he
he's
was
a
a name. He was a
yeah,
name. So
there's a 40-year-old man in there, man.
you know what? I will say this: in MMA, as opposed to boxing, you can actually fight a bit longer if you're safe and don't take too much damage. Unfortunately, JDS has suffered some really knockouts, and that's what gets it. When you take a number of vicious knockouts, your brain is just not meant to withstand that. And yeah, hopefully he walks away. You know what I mean? It'd be good to
Yeah,
remember him.
that was just a paycheck for him at that point, man. Like, I don't know if the paycheck's worth risking your health over, and that's what these guys
There,
are.
there was the champ from KSW
Yeah, seen a
that we
lot of,
got
yeah.
to see.
That kid's nasty. Yeah.
Very, very, very good showing in my book. I thought he was tremendous. I thought he looked solid. And if I'm the UFC, I am trying to see if I can get him, try to buy him out of his contract and bring him in right away. That
Yeah,
guy, I believe, I think he's a real deal.
I think MVP does pay more than the Contender Series. I'm pretty sure he did get more money there than he would at the Contender Series. That's why I kind of took that, and maybe he'll, instead of fighting a Contender Series fight, he'll just jump up onto the main roster. That's what I see him
Oh,
doing.
I hope so, man, because he definitely looked the part. He was very thorough. Stand up looked great. Yeah, he definitely looks like he's ready for some major competition. Like he doesn't look like a guy that needs to be babied in. You can throw him right into the mix, and he can hold
Mm.
his own. He definitely looked good.
All right, let's talk about the big three, man. Let's talk about the big three and the the drama around it, because each one of these fights had drama. One more than the other because UFC decided to put its hat into the ring during one of the
Okay.
fights, which I thought was funny. Um,
Okay, well, the first of the co-main events was Francis Ngannou versus unfortunately I do not remember this guy's name.
Philip Lins, it's
Philip Lins, yes,
uh,
Philip Lins. Credit to Philip Lins. This guy did not run from Ngannou. He absolutely stuck his jab in his face and tried to make a fight of it. I credit Philip Lins for having what we like to say testicular fortitude. He had guts. He was not scared of Ngannou, and he got blasted.
lasted longer than I thought.
And
Lasted longer than most people thought, to be honest. Made it to the 4:30 mark, so
yeah, you
almost out of
give
the
him
first round.
he was a gamer. Like I said, he was willing to stand there and fight with Ngannou and not run from him. He it looked like his mentality was maybe I can beat him to the punch, and I credit him for doing that. He just couldn't withstand the power of Ngannou. And Ngannou didn't even land cleanly. It was a glancing blow, but he carries so much power that it's just hard to withstand.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I credit
Um,
Philip Lynn. I thought Philip Lynn made a good showing, and I don't know if you've heard this, but Ngannou did get a bonus of 100,000, and he gave the entire bonus to Philip Lynn.
wow, good guy and gone it.
Yeah. He said
Praise.
that he respected. He said he respected the fight that he brought.
And then we got the co-main. Your prediction came true. The notorious bleeder. Nate Diaz just didn't look like he was there at all, man. I don't
It
know.
it's unfortunate to say this because I was a huge fan of his brother Nick Diaz, and I look at Nate, and I don't think his heart is in it anymore. I'm not convinced his heart is in it. He did not look the same. He was being pieced apart the entire fight. And
Yeah.
to be fair, Mike Perry looked great. Perry was bringing it all nonstop. I would dare say Perry, he looked like he was ready for combat that day. Nate Diaz just didn't look ready from the outset. He just didn't really look ready.
Mm,
Or maybe
mm.
he just had, or maybe I'm wrong, and he just had no answer for Mike Perry. Mike Perry was aggressive from the beginning. Nate normally takes a little while to get going, and he just couldn't.
It's very true. It's very true.
You
Um,
know, and you're right. This was a fight where the scar tissue cut up very quickly. Um, blood it was buckets of blood by Nate Diaz, and the fight. I agree with the stoppage. The fight had to be stopped.
but
It was if this. Do you not? Because I heard you said
I
that
mean,
you felt some people thought that he's taken worse, so he could have continued.
yeah, we both seen him. I mean, I get he's a 40-year-old man and they're just there for a paycheck, but I mean, I don't know, man. I guess I don't know. He could have, I don't know.
Jimmy, I
There's
gotta
nothing
tell
on
you,
the line for it. If there was something on the line, maybe, but I get why they threw in the, there's not, he's not, there's no belts. That's the problem with this whole promotion. They're doing it for, like, this is the biggest MMA card, but there's no, for what?
there didn't need to be belts on the line for this promotion, and the reason why need to be is this is a test run that we just saw. It was a test
Mhm,
run to see if people were willing to watch. Um, Not just MMA, but a celebrity style MMA. They had to know if there was a market for it, and it showed that there was. Interestingly enough, though, the house didn't look completely full, but
mhm.
The Netflix numbers were tremendous. It was kind
Yeah,
of odd.
I got the Netflix numbers was 17 mil, which I
Jeez.
mean, in comparison to some like major UFC fights, is a little low, but it's still up there. And then but the gate's bad. Like the gate was terrible. They only it was a $2.5 million gate, which the last UFC one that not to not do that. I saw a little graphic of it said UFC Singapore at UFC 265. So it's been a
Well,
while since
mistake number
UFC hasn't
one.
gated
I,
higher.
I, yeah, but UFC is also an established brand. MVP is making their first foray into MMA, so I
Yeah,
can't compare the two. Secondly, I would say this: Jake Paul, MVP, whoever runs it, that's why you don't go to California out the gate. Californians are
yeah,
different. Understand they're the type to arrive late, very late. Okay, they're more laid back. Now I don't think you were ready for Vegas, but this definitely should have been in Atlanta or Miami, somewhere like that. I think they would have had a full house if they had done a place like that.
yeah. I guess that kind of comes in with the celebrity thing. They thought the California crowd could do it, but I guess
No, you're right. You're right. But yeah, it was the wrong venue, unfortunately. I mean, it looked great on TV. The venue looked great, but you could see all the empty seats that were there, and
yeah.
it was unfortunate because I always think regardless, the fighters should get a full house. But and then, my friend, we had the main event.
The
The
people
main
who
event.
don't watch MMA are up in arms about, but are we really surprised? They sat there, they said, "We waited all that time for that." I was like, "Yeah, did you not look at the books? Hello? Are you not seeing the odds of this stuff? Have
Uh,
you guys watched Rousey before?"
let's
Ah,
let's call this what this was. Even the hype leading into the fight, no one was giving Carano a chance here.
no,
I mean, this is somebody who hadn't fought in 17 years. Oh, and by the way, when she did fight, she was a decent fighter. She was never a great
she
or an
wasn't a
elite.
world beater. No,
Yeah,
no.
she was a decent fighter. She helped put it on the map. But Ronda was legit. So what did
Yeah,
and the last
and you
time
know,
she fought was 10 years ago, and she was still training since then. Not consistently, but she had still trained and maintained shape. So what did people think was going to happen?
she opened up the fight with a leg kick. You throw a lazy leg kick at one of the best grapplers in women's MMA. What? What are we doing? What did you think? And then she tapped immediately. She didn't even have the armbar in yet, bro. She like, I don't know, bro. That whole thing,
She
I was like,
extended,
this is
she extended the arm and tapped right away. It's it's like she had no answer for it. She just had no. And you know what? And I don't blame her. It was just one of those things that we as fans would have liked to have seen more. But those people who know MMA, it's well, yes, this is what we knew was going to happen. This
yeah,
was always going to be a. This was always she was always going to get steamrolled.
for sure, for sure. And all right, so getting those out of the way, right? Explaining all of that, was it a good card to you? Like, do you think that they can do this again? Do you think that it's worth all the
Absolutely.
hype?
Absolutely, 100% yes. And the reason I say that is, again, the this is not a, hey, everybody, this is the best card we could ever put together in the history of mankind. No, this was we need a test market run to
Hmm.
see if we can draw. The answer turned out to be yes, they can. The same way that MVP found out that, hey, Jake Paul boxing is money. You know what? They now know that there's money in MMA as well. So the point is, can they do it? Yes. But the question is, now that people have seen the type of fight you're going to put together, we need to see something more compelling. We are not going to watch or buy into a hype of a fight that's another person is going to get steamrolled.
Hmm.
So the next time they do an MMA card, it's going to have to be big names where it's more 50-50 and less just one person getting ready to roll over another.
Well, I think that's where they have the problem, right? Because they had Ngannou call out John Jones. John Jones is not getting out of his UFC contract. There's no way. Uh, Ngannou's only option out there is to fight that Rebellis to Spain, and that's it. And I think he gets Rebellis out of there just because Rebellis fights with his hands down, like we said. And I just
Unless
don't think they
they
have the guys, man. I really
unless
don't.
unless Dana White wants to somehow include himself in co-promotion, he's not. And it's not that John Jones doesn't want to fight. And by the way, if he's going to fight John Jones, it has to be soon. John Jones was right. He was like, listen, I'm getting older. I got arthritis. I can't keep doing this. So it's going to
Well,
happen. It has to happen now, but it's not on him.
well,
He's
that's
willing
the
to do
thing.
it.
John Jones wanted the Francis fight, but then he brought up the arthritis thing again. Does he want to fight, or does he just want to have his name on the list to fight Ngannou? Because there's a big difference. He wanted the same thing with Aspinall. He wanted to fight Aspinall, but then now he's all too old. All this, like he wants to
No,
fight
no,
like he picks and
he won't.
chooses his spots,
He
man.
wanted the he wanted to fight Aspinall, but he wanted to fight Aspinall at the White House. That's all he wanted. When he first signed to fight Aspinall, just remember, after he agreed to fight Aspinall, Dana White then came out shortly after and said, "We're going to be doing a White House card." John Jones said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! That's the card this fight needs to be on, because that's going to be the big money card." So John Jones wanted this fight
Yeah.
with Aspinall at the White House, and they couldn't come to an agreement because of it. So
Right.
Aspinall went and fought um,
Cheryl Gallagher got his eyes poked
Cyril,
out, but
Cyril Gahn, got poked in the eyes, and he's been sitting ever since.
but the White House. I don't think the White House card was announced yet, man. I
It
know
was
John Jones.
it
It
got
was
an
rumored. It got rumored. I don't think it was announced yet, but
it
they
it that
offered
does
John Jones offered the money, man. Like he was offered 30 mil. He quoted like he wanted a Jake Paul number, and Dana was like, "Yeah, I'll give you the Jake Paul number." Like, and he just
no
backed
no
out.
no. He
Yeah.
was never offered 30 million. John Jones came out and said what the numbers were. He was never offered 30 million, not even. He was the offer. As a matter of fact, I think he was offered 10 million, and he said he couldn't get any more than that. That Dana White refused to come off the number. So that's all he was offered. And he still agreed to do the Aspinall fight. But no, the White House first got rumored shortly after he agreed for that. And that's why John Jones was like, hey, I will fight him. I just want to fight him at the White House. Because that would be the biggest card for this. But
Yeah,
Dana didn't want them to wait all that additional time for that. He wanted them to fight, you know, by the end of that year. And then when the money just didn't fit John, because John was like, hey, I can make 30 million if we fight at the White House. But Dana wasn't offering him 30 million to fight before then. He was offering him 10 and no, not a cent more. So John's like, I'm not gonna do it.
I'm gonna find some evidence. I think I'm right, but I don't know. You're believing John. I'm believing UFC. I don't know. We'll come back to this conversation next week, man.
That's
We
fair.
got
That's fair.
uh where was I gonna go after that? Let's. I mean, the Rousey Corona. I don't know. She's done. Corona says she might want to fight again. I don't know who you would give her. She
Carano's not gonna fight again. I mean, do you really want to see her in the ring after that?
not really, to be honest. Not this is my problem with MVP though. Like I was what I was going back to earlier. I don't think they have that many people, man. That like their fights right now that they're talking about is Ngannou versus Despain, and then Mike Perry, Nate Diaz too. They're gonna instantly run that back again. And I was like, well, I
They're
mean,
not gonna run that.
nah,
I
that's
know
what
they
they said afterward, man.
they're not gonna run that back. That sounds good in the ring at the moment. They're in the cage at the moment. They're not gonna run
I mean, we'll
that
have to
back.
see.
What was the fight close before the cutting? Was the fight even close?
No, no,
Mike Perry won every minute of every round until a fight was stopped.
for sure, for sure. I mean,
They don't need to run that back.
they don't need to run it. I agree with you. My thing is,
And okay.
you go. I was just gonna do a closing
Oh,
statement.
oh, I was going to say, and just understand this about MVP. It's not that the fighters that they have for them are all the available independent fighters in the world. That's
Mhm.
what their platform is. They have a base of all the fighters in the world that are independent, or even some that are under contract that are looking for exposure from their promotion. Those are guys that they can get. They just cannot get the Bellator guys, the UFC guys, or a few other promotional guys. But everybody else is basically available to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you. I'm here for MVP. I think good. I think any competition is good competition. I just want the competition to march up or match up because I mean we have these other promotions, but they're not touching UFC. And then everyone knows UFC is the goal in the fighting world. Like that is the goal. And if they want to make like a rival thing to it, or just another space where people can fight, that's cool. I just want to see competitive matchups, man. And what I saw wasn't very competitive. That's all I'm saying.
It's you know what? As a test run, I like what they did, but the second card they would definitely have to have some big names with more competitive fights. But for a test run to see if there was a market, I agree with what they did completely. Just don't expect us to buy into this a second time.
Now, if you were wondering what you missed on the real fights, the UFC Vegas 117 went down on Saturday as well, and Doo Ho Choi had a nasty body shot knockout over Willie Cat Santos, Daniel Willie Cat Santos. I forgot his name for half a second. And like, and this fight was crazy because it was all gas, no brakes in the first round. Uh, Daniel Santos just putting on all the pressure, throwing heat. Doo Ho Choi hanging in there, staying strong, and then in the second round. Uh, Daniel Santos was gassing out and then got caught with a nice body shot and got dropped. Doo Ho Choi is a top 15 lightweight. He's a problem. I think Santos is a top 15 competitor as well. It's just he's always had problem with weight. I don't know what he's doing up at flyweight or lightweight. He should be at 145, man. He hits like a monster. His problem is just always gassing out.
Yeah, no matter how good or strong or good you may be, man, not having a gas tank is one of the worst things that can happen to a fighter.
For sure. And then Arnold Allen put on 5 rounds of domination over Melquizel Costa. Said Melquizel, this is the level. You're not just not there yet. Very close first round. You could have scored it for Costa, but I think 2 through 5 was clear throughout Allen. He just his boxing was crisp. Melchiso had a couple was putting up a fight most of the way through. It's just he was just kept on getting outlanded and stung up all of it up and down. And then when Allen wanted to, he could take him down in control. It was just domination from start to finish to me. And I think Allen's trying to make his way back up in the rankings. I think they should do him versus Murphy low key, just for for the English fans, both of them English guys. That could be a pay per view main event. To, try to get the number one contendership for the featherweight championship. Because Murphy
I
just
like
lost
it.
to Evloev, but
I like it. I just don't know if I can make that a number one contenders match. Allen needs to show a bit more. Murphy coming off a loss. I'm not ready to make that a number one contenders match, but I think that would put them in contention for a number
mm,
one contenders match.
that's valid. That's valid. Maybe I would jump the gun a little bit.
No,
um,
I get what you're saying. Like, who if you match them up, whoever comes out the winner would be in a good position to at least call for a
oh
main
yeah,
fight
yeah, yeah.
to lead
I
to a
get you.
title fight. So,
I get you. Chaos Williams had a crazy knockout. Tennikov was kind of pouring it on early a little bit, and then got caught, smoked, packed up. Chaos Williams KO. He hits like a Mack truck. You know, his career has been up and down, but he's always a uh, fighter that you need to watch, man. He's a killer, get killed in there. I like watching it.
yeah, man, you basically said it. All action. I like guys. I tend to like guys like that. Leave it all out because the fact of the matter is the worst thing you can ever see from a fighter is a fighter who has gets in the cage and when they leave the cage, it's like they're full of energy then, and you're like, well, where was the performance?
Yeah,
If you're so hyped up after the fight, where was it during the fight when you didn't do anything? Leave it all in the cage.
for sure.
If you do that, win, lose, or draw, you gave everything.
For sure. Another one on the main card. A little bit of disappointing. Modestas Bukauskas. He won. He could have got him out of there in the second round, but he just gassed out and then ended up giving up the third. Kind of a disappointing fight for him, honestly. He just can never get over the hump for me. I don't know what it is anymore, man. I always want to root for the guy. It's just he just always lets me down, even when he wins.
Um, Not much to say here. The tale of two different fights.
Yeah, and
Um,
then oh shoot, my bad.
gotta have again the. It seems to me that the theme for this card should be called gas tank.
Last fight I want to mention on the main card that was a insane fight, but had some controversy in it. Juan Diaz versus Malcolm Wellmaker. Malcolm Wellmaker didn't look like he wanted to be out there, man. I don't know what it was. He got hit with an illegal knee, but they didn't really call it because it hit his shoulder and then rolled into his like neck and the head. I don't know. It was weird. Basically after that, everyone looked at it. It was going crazy on Twitter. Everyone's like, "Is that legal? Is it not legal?" I got called out on Twitter by one random guy. He said got hit by a legal knee. I was like, "Well, I mean, he was aiming for his head. Just because he missed his head doesn't make it a legal thing." That was my response. That's how I viewed it, but I could be wrong. I'm not a referee by no means, but Juan Diaz made sure the judges stayed out of it, made sure the controversy was over because he just wrapped Malcolm Wellmaker up and submitted him in the second round, making sure the judges were not a factor in the car or in the fight at all. And Malcolm Wellmaker, this is two in a row. First he got pieced up by Ethan Ewing, and we thought Ethan Ewing was like a real, he's a real threat. We know what he is now. And Juan Diaz, like I said, he had the crazy, they know like contender series knockout. He's nasty himself, but Malcolm Wilmick, it seems like this guy that we saw who was, you know, working as a welder who was part time doing it, and now he's full time. The full time guy looks worse than the part time guy. I don't know what it is. Maybe he just got unlucky 2 times in a row.
We need to see him do it against better competition. We just need to see him step it up against better competition before we start to say, how high can he go? Like, what's his peak? What's the ceiling? We've got to see. We got to. I'm not sure. Is he ready? Would you say that he should be looking at at a top 10 matchup,
No,
are
no,
you
no,
ready
no.
to go there?
He's no,
See,
no, no.
that's what I'm saying.
He's
Like, I'm not.
not ranked yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm. But in order to get ranked, you have to start fighting people up toward the end. So I'm wondering, do you match him up with a top 15 matchup, or do you just continue to match him up with people in the same
Yeah,
limbo for now?
I need to see him win against someone around his skill level, man. It's been a while since he's had a dub.
Fair enough.
And then a couple of things on the prelims. Alice Ardeline got a crazy submission over Polyana Viana, like absolutely insane. Apparently she figured it out how to do the submission on Instagram. The more you know. And
Yes.
then
Hold on, before you move on for that, I wanted to talk about that. That's the first time I saw that. That was one of the sickest submissions I've ever seen.
it was
Very
crazy, right?
creative, and my thing is this: why would anybody put themselves in that situation?
Yeah,
What kind
it's
of benefit could you get from
nuts.
even trying to put somebody in the anaconda from the ground? It didn't make sense, but the submission was sweet.
It was nasty, 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 nasty. And then, like we said before the show started, our boy Cody Brundage, KO, keeps his career alive. Keeps, he's a gatekeeper, man. He's holding the gate, holding the line. He still got it.
Yo, we are absolutely going to show love and respect for Bundridge. This guy just I'm a fan of his. Um, he may or may not be championship level, but the only way to find out is we will know when he leaves the cage because he leaves everything inside of it.
For
Um,
sure.
I love the way this guy fights. I am a huge fan of the way this guy fights. He's never an easy out, and when you get in the cage with him, you better know what you're doing. You better be prepared to have a long night.
He
You
got
know, so
taken down and kind of ragdolled in the first round. He got on the stool. His coach said, "Go take him out." And you know what he did? He took him out.
there you go.
Um, I think that's really all the craziness from this weekend in UFC Vegas. The MVP MMA. Um, let's talk about the announcements that was made. Your boy Conor McGregor, the Irishman, he's back and he's fighting my boy.
He's back.
Nice.
He's back. He's back, and he's a massive underdog.
Yeah, 4-1. Crazy, crazy. Max
I have a
Holloway. What?
question. I have a question for you. How do you see this fight going?
Um, Holloway is just faster. If he gets caught, he gets
Yes,
caught. But like Holloway's only been caught by Ilya, man. Like, like Ilya is the only person that has put Max down and out, right? Conor
but
McGregor is
you,
what 36,
but
35. So he's up there, right? Like
Ilya is
I
the
don't know,
only person to put him out, but he has been outfought on his feet by
a couple
Volkanovski.
times. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
but I
So
don't I don't think
he
McGregor
can
has
be
that
beat.
skill anymore, man. I think he's just got you just gotta watch out for that looping left hand. I
Max
don't
has
know.
been knocked. Max has been caught by unsuspecting punches. That being said, I don't know how old Max is. I don't mean actual age wise. I mean I don't know if this is the fight where Max turns into an old man. You
I
understand
mean,
what I'm saying?
he
Um,
didn't take damage in the last fight against Oliveira. He just kind of got smothered. So I mean,
see,
I don't
he
know.
didn't, but he didn't look like what we were expecting to see from him. So
But
I
you
wonder
couldn't really
you
see
can
him.
turn. Yeah, there wasn't much to see during the fight, but you can turn old overnight in fighting, and I'm wondering if that's what we're seeing from Max. And I'm wondering if Connor can turn back the fountain of youth one time.
I'm gonna
Because
ride
I
with my
there
boy,
is
man.
you're riding with Holloway.
That's my guy. That's I got to, man. I have much respect for McGregor, but and what all he's done for UFC. He made me a fan of the game. I came in around that time, but Holloway's just that guy, man. I like the way he fights. He's I'm Hawaiian. He's Hawaiian. I might not look it,
Where
but I am.
this fight's taking place at 170, right?
170. Yeah, Max is first. He just moved up to lightweight. Now he's moving all the way up to welterweight.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. This is Max's first time at the bigger weight. Um, because it's hard to know what conditioning Connor's going to be in. Like I would
Uh,
imagine he'll be in phenomenal shape, but being in phenomenal shape does not mean you're in cage shape.
for sure.
So
For sure.
I'm definitely leaning toward Max. I'm just not sold on it yet, but I'm definitely
I hear
leaning
you.
toward
I hear you. Two great cards coming up in the White House card and International Fight Week, Holloway versus McGregor too. Next week we have the Macau card. The week after that we have Muhammad versus Bonfim. Then it goes into the White House card, and then we have two more fight nights, and then it's McGregor versus Holloway. I'm pretty sure. They just announced in Abu Dhabi. Um, there will be Ankalaev versus Khalil Roundtree in the light heavyweight. That's pretty cool. That's gonna be a good fight.
it. I like that, man. I'm laughing because I actually like that matchup.
Yeah, and then I think I know they got a fight night in Azerbaijan. I just forget who is the headline of it. Fizia versus somebody. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, we got some crazy fights coming up. UFC still holding strong, man, holding down the fort. Islam rumored to fight in August, UFC 330, Philadelphia. Uh, Probably looking like either Morales or Gary. I've seen posters and leaks for both. Don't know what's true. Don't know what's not true. Won't believe anything until it comes out of Dana's mouth. Uh, and yeah, I think that's it for us. Catch us next week when we go over UFC Macau. You know, they're going to China. We got Song Yadong versus Davidson Figueiredo and a bunch of Road to UFC guys.
Hey,
Eight
real quick, who do you like in that? The main.
Song Yadong versus Davidson. I gotta go
Yes,
with
sir.
Song, man. I like Songs. I'm a fan of Song. I thought he could. I thought he beat O'Malley, but I don't know. You know, as an O'Malley fan, I don't know. I look at it both ways. I gotta go back and rewatch the fight. But I lean Song just because Davidson's getting old, and I think Song can control him on the ground, and he is underrated striking too. That people forget about.
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with you, and it has to do with Davidson Figueroa's age. I like the fact that Davidson is a very aggressive fighter, will always make a fight, but has slowed down the output ever since his wars with Brandon Moreno. He hasn't
Mhm.
quite looked the same. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to go against him, even though I do like him as a fighter.
And that's a preview for the UFC Macau show taking place next Friday at 8 p.m. We'll get back to
Yes,
you.
sir.
We got the dribble coming up next, going over the crazy NBA finals or playoff run that's going on with TNS and Bando. Make sure you tune in if you like basketball. Zip, I appreciate you coming on, brother. Sorry that it's so late.
All good, man. Thanks for the invite. We'll be back with everyone soon.
Yes, sir. Stay not moved.
The Not Move podcast is fueled by W Energy. Smooth, jitter-free focus, and flavors that slap. Mango, berry, watermelon. Whatever gets you locked in, they've got it. Hit up W.GG, use promo code NOTMOVED, and snag 10% off your order. Stay not moved, stay energized.
Number Friday nights, 9 Eastern. It's the Dribble, NBA edition on the Not Move podcast. We break down the week, the trades, the highlights, everything around the league. Tap in, chop it up with us, and get the takes that move the game forward. Stay not moved.
The Not Moved podcast drop is here. Snapbacks, hoodies, mugs, stickers, totes, everything you need to rep the convo everywhere you go. Limited run, unlimited style. Tap the link, fill the cart, and
Tap into the Not Move podcast every Friday night at 8 Eastern.
We're bringing the scrap sheet, UFC edition.
Every jab, every takedown, every headline.
All the fights, all the drama, all the picks, right here.
Watch live on YouTube or listen anywhere you get your podcast. Hit follow, hit subscribe.
And stay not moved.
Need some new Not Move drip? The In the Wickets hoodie just dropped. Super soft fleece, heavyweight feel, and the official NMP patch on the sleeve. Tap add to cart, check out, and let us handle the rest. In a couple days, it shows up at your door, ready to rock. Rep the podcast from the couch to the tip. Every
Every Thursday night, the Not Move podcast drops a new episode of
In the Wicked,
our deep dive on everything around the NHL.
We break down the plays, the trades, the stats, and the stories that matter.
Plus, a few hot takes along the way.
Join us live at 8 p.m. Eastern, or catch it on your favorite podcast app right after.
Same energy, same on.
Tuesday nights just got louder. Ringside Rewind is live every week, 9 Eastern.
We're breaking down Raw, SmackDown, and everything leading into the weekend. If it happens between the ropes, we're talking about it.
Deep dives, hot takes, and a few surprise
and
replays.
A whole lot of arguing.
Yeah, but the good kind.
Ringside.
Oh, the Orphan Elimination Chamber tee just dropped. Fresh out the box. Look at this.
That print is nasty. Chain link O, silver hit. It's tough.
It's soft too, y'all. Fits right. Little drip for the Elimination Chamber weekend.
We rocking these all season.
If you're part of the Not Move fam, you already know.
Jump on it before it's
gone. Grab yours now at Not Move Shop.
Episode of the Not Move podcast is brought to you by the MLB Shop. They have every team's gear, from classic caps to World Baseball Classic hoodies, all official and all ready for game day. Tap the link in our bio to head straight to the shop and snag your favorite merch.
The drop is here. NMP gear built for every day and game day. Hoodies, mugs, and the Coach Common jersey in bold gold. Rep the movement. Feel the energy. Shop new arrivals.
If you're craving baseball talk that doesn't flinch, tap in with us Monday nights at 8 Eastern.
It's the Rusty Mitt MLB edition of the Not Move podcast. Breakdowns, debates, all the swings and misses without the fake fluff.
Join us live or catch the replay wherever you get your pods. Rusty Mitt, not moved. Stay not moved.
Attention Not Move Nation. Our first ever jersey has landed. The NMP by JB Sport Talk collab brings premium mesh, bold gold accents, and that undeniable game day energy. Plus, hoodie drop.
Today's episode of Not Moved is brought to you by Open Goal, the world's #1 backyard goal. If you love soccer but hate chasing balls into the neighbor's yard, this thing is a game changer. Its rebound net sends missed shots right back to you, and the side nets keep your landscaping and your windows safe. It's perfect for kids, for training, or just having fun.
Today's episode of the Not Move podcast is brought to you by Walmart.com. With our storefront in the Walmart app, you can get everything you need. Pick up or have it delivered.
We ordered dinner while recording and it showed up before we wrapped.
Better good sweet corn and burrata ravioli.
Nuri protein drinks, even St. Patrick's Day treats.
Walmart.com.
Not Move, fam. Southgate edition just landed and it's fire. Check the tee, watch out for the skis and the wickets. Hockey stick, cricket wickets, all vibes. We got hoodies, mugs, caps, beanies, whatever you need. Cop yours before they...
At the Not Move podcast, just drop the gear.
Heavyweight hoodies, premium cotton, street ready.
Caps, mugs, and more. Every detail on point.
Whether you're hooping, tailgating, or just repping the pod, NMP fits the culture.
Limited drops. When they're gone, they're gone.
Cop yours today at notmoveshop.fourthwall.com.
This non-casual podcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or reused without the authorized written consent of the Not Move Podcast Network. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.